to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. The Perry County Sheriff's Office is looking for a missing woman. They say the woman that you see on your screen right now is 28-year-old Veronica Sweet. She was last seen on 126 Boone Ledge Drive in Hazard yesterday at around 10:30 in the evening. Officers say Sweet is missing from an assisted living facility and is diagnosed with multiple mental health disorders. Sweet is said to have 2 visible tattoos on her arms and is described as 5 feet 4 inches with brown hair and blue eyes. If you know anything about where Sweet might be, you're asked to call 911. Back in June, a complaint was made against the Kentucky Wildlife Center in Lexington, leading to the seizure of 9 animals and charges against the president of the center. Jessica Umbro sat down with Karen Bailey, who says it's important for her to share her side of the story.
It kind of looks bad when you've spent your whole life dedicated to the well-being and welfare of wildlife, to come out and say that I have illegal possession.
Karen Bailey says she found out a few weeks ago that she was missing a permit for some of the animals kept at the Kentucky Wildlife Center. Bailey believes regulatory changes in the last year are part of the problem. On Thursday, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Resources seized 9 animals they say were being held illegally. Officials charged Bailey with 9 violations of holding protected wildlife without a permit.
They showed up with a bunch of people. It was like a raid for a $25 permit for somebody that had it for 18 years. It's not like I was a criminal. I've never even had a speeding ticket.
In a statement to WKYT, the Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources said, quote, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife's investigation stems from a complaint received in June that expressed concern about the welfare of animals in the possession of Karen Bailey. And it continued, quote, with the animals now in the care of Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, a determination will be made later regarding the eventual disposition of the animals based on available facility and medical records of the animals. Bailey says she takes issue with the fact that the 3 otters and 6 raccoons were taken from familiar surroundings.
We offered to give them full access to the facility, to let the animals stay till we figure it out. I'm struggling. I feel like I betrayed them. I shoved them, in a carrier to be put in the back of a truck.
In Lexington, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
An interview with Kentucky Fish and Wildlife was requested, but they said that since this is an ongoing case, they're unable to comment further. Many animal shelters are facing issues with overcrowding, including right here in eastern Kentucky. The Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter is one of those places that has seen more animals than they have the staff to properly take care of. Getting your pets spayed and neutered is a practice that helps address this issue from the beginning. It's also healthy for the animal. Experts say it can help prevent certain infections and cancers and increases animals' lifespan. Tony Vaughn has worked with animals for many years, and he says he and his wife hope to open a low-cost clinic to provide those services.
This low-cost spay-neuter to me is going to be the long-term answer to this. So I want to get more involved in that and get more vets participating in that, and that's what we're working on now.
Vaughn says next year, laws relating to spaying and neutering will become more strict, which is why it is important for affordable resources to become more available. The Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter hosted and volunteered a donation drive today. They had booths at the flea market, farmers market, and Walmart, plus a number of volunteers at the shelter from 10 until 5. Volunteers deep cleaned, organized, and even interacted with the animals. This comes as the shelter aims to get back on track after facing controversies and conflict around the conditions and administrative process of the shelter. Rex Kilburn has been helping the shelter over the last months and urges people to channel their concerns into helping make a change.
Hold on to that interest, turn that from outrage into support. Come in and, this is your shelter. These animals are in the care of these counties. This is your shelter. Make it your shelter. Be here, be heard, be known. We heard your voice. Things are changing. Now we just need you to keep coming back.
Kilburn says the goal is to make it so the shelter goes beyond just survival for the animals and is somewhere that thrives. To learn ways to help out the shelter or volunteer, you can visit WYMT.com or Crass's Facebook page.
It was an absolutely pleasant day across eastern Kentucky today. You could walk outside and you finally wouldn't break a sweat. One of the nicest weekends we've had in the last couple weeks. Now look at this observed highs, right? 81 in Hazard, 81 in Jackson, 81 in Somerset, 84 in Harlan is the highest temperature in our area, and that's below average still. So the entirety of our viewing area was below average, and current temperatures right now, we're starting to near the low 60s, could even maybe break the 50s as we get into tonight. 63 in Hazard right now, 69 in Jackson, 65 in London, 63 in Williamsburg. And then if you are planning on going out maybe to end your night on the patio, you make sure to download that WYMT First Alert weather app, because that will let you know more about this forecast. But it's gonna be 68 by the time you step out there. And then if you're out till 7 a.m., don't really know why you'd be out that late, but if you are, 61 degrees. Amelia?
Thank you, Drake. A West Virginia state trooper killed in the line of duty last year was honored by his community today. Folks came together to play softball and raise money for a scholarship in his name. Sergeant Cory Maynard was born in eastern Kentucky. Now a scholarship has been founded in his honor. It will help first responders and their relatives through college. Family and friends hit the field to play in a softball tournament to help raise money for the fund.
Watching an event like this, where Cory's life was so much about service, helping others, reaching out to others. At times, Cory was one that would go that extra mile to really lend a hand.
Again, that scholarship is for first responders and their immediate family through the Southern West Virginia Community College Foundation. Maynard leaves behind a wife and 2 children. University of Pikeville students have opened a free clinic in efforts of supporting the community. Located at 8015 Millard Highway, College of Osteopathic Medicine students are providing services such as physicals, blood pressure, vaccinations, and more. Clinic director says this is one way they are working to give back to the community that has given them so much.
At the end of the day, a lot of us are students that have come from far and wide, a lot of different places, essentially transplant students. And we all feel that it's important for us to give back to the community, that it's not fair that the community, the faculty, everybody does such an incredible job educating us. And so we want to give back in every single way we possibly can. And so that's kind of how this all started.
Students say they hope to add on other students from the university's dental and optometry schools. The clinic is open on each second Saturday of the month. They would like to be open more often as the clinic grows. Earlier today, people in Hazard gathered at the North Fork River to do a cleanup project. Emily Francis is a Lexington Girl Scout troop member who was tasked to complete a community project to earn the Golden Star Award. During the cleanup, more than 15 people gathered to lend a hand in cleaning up the river. Francis hopes that this project can lead to a river people can be proud of.
I want to eventually get it to a point where it can be clean and then stay clean. So another aspect of my project is putting out information on why littering is helpful beyond just pollution.
Francis says Hazard has some of the most beautiful parks and rivers, and she is happy she can do her part and keep them beautiful. Coming up at 11, a piece of history returns to Bath County. In the past, it left researchers stumped, and you might be surprised today.
Well, the weekend continues to be nice going into tomorrow. I'll have the details on how long this cool weather sticks around coming up in your First Alert forecast.